Hi, darling. So you're here because you want to learn a little bit more about spiritual direction and spiritual direction with me specifically, but in general as well. Spiritual direction is a professional field of work where the director's role is to listen with her whole self to the stories that you're bringing into session, and to listen specifically for the presence or the absence of the divine influence, of the loving force that is always cheering you on in your life. It's a place where you get to tell the stories that are spiritually significant to you, good or bad, and having that holding place in your life can provide a sense of belonging and a sense of spiritual support that you don't usually get when you are going about your daily life, right? Without somebody to bear witness to the important things that are happening on a regular basis that prove to you, that validate the presence of God in your life. And I use God, but I don't hold that for you. If your language is universal flow or loving divinity or whatever your language, that's what we use in session. But when we don't have somebody who is set up to listen for that divinity or that experience for you, what happens is we have I'll have a spiritually significant event, and I might tell somebody about it, like, hey mom, guess what happened to me today? Isn't this cool? Look at this awe-inspiring arrangement. Look at the synchronicity. And we both go, wow, and then move on with the day goes on, and that incident just gets kind of washed out with the rest of the daily grind. But when you have an appointment for spiritual direction on your calendar for tomorrow or next week or somewhere in the future, when it's sitting on your calendar going, at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be calling my spiritual director and we're going to be having a discussion about what's been going on. Those events that happen that normally would get, washed out with every other thing, you hold on to them. And you go, okay, I've got a placeholder. I'm gonna make sure to tell that story next Friday when I meet with my director. Or that's a really significant event. I'm gonna talk about that. And when you come into session for spiritual direction, it's not therapy. It's not life coaching where you're setting goals and you're doing. It's like we create space for those stories to be unpacked. And by bearing witness to what is evolving in your life, what is spiritually significant in your life, again, good or bad, by creating space for you to tell that story, you're then integrating spirituality as a regular practice, as a discipline. You're integrating this check-in with the divine within you, and you start to learn more about yourself and how you show up spiritually in the world. It's like an opportunity to give your heart and your soul the attention that it's seeking, your higher self, the attention that it's seeking from you. So I have a spiritual director that I meet with every other week. Some of my directees I meet with every week. Some of them I meet with every month. And some of them only reach out to me 3 to 4 times a year when they need that sacred check-in. So it's a way to show up for yourself. To be in spiritual direction is a way to show up for yourself, spiritually speaking, and it is a form of discipline that can help you evolve and grow spiritual roots to your stories. Oftentimes, the people who come to spiritual direction are highly sensitive, or the deep meaning makers in the world, or the people who really enjoy self-reflection and learning from their behaviors, or the people who believe that in order to change the world out there, you have to change the world in here. And before you can change the world in here, you have to get to know what's going on internally. So spiritual direction is a beautiful self-care, maintenance, a sacred check-in for how it's going spiritually for you. I particularly am spiritually independent of any faith. I have a personal history in Catholicism. A lot of spiritual directors are directors within their faith, their home faith, and you can find spiritual directors in every religion. And now there is this movement of independent spiritual directors as well. So I encourage you to reach out to me if you need some help finding someone nearby, or if you want to set up a spiritual direction time. I am interested and available, and I want to watch you evolve into more and more of your life's purpose. I want to watch it unfold for you brilliantly. So thank you for listening, and reach out to me if you have any questions. I am Sweet Georgia Pam Muller, spiritual director, dream expert, author, and I hope to see you and hear from you soon.